We're now heading southwest out of Novak because we are going to go visit Ranger Station Charlie to start today's episode. Yesterday we saw some rockets. I don't know if there was a red glare, but there were definitely rockets. And today we are going to probably want to start off by switching our weapon. I just had this thought, or I would have already done it. Let's start with the cowboy repeater, because we seem to have a fair amount of ammunition for this weapon. I mean, we don't know what to expect at Ranger Station Charlie. We only know that the ranger, whose name I literally cannot remember right now, but taught us some sort of weird technique that I also don't remember how to do, asked us to go check this place out if we should ever, have a chance. And he was a nice guy. I mean, he was teaching us some stuff, so I thought, you know what? We should go check it out. Now, if you notice, there are a crap ton of markers on there. It's because I kind of left the quest up there to, check on Boone's wife. We'll probably do that next, would be my guess. Okay, there's a lot of clack, clack, clack. This is one of those things where sometimes you hear all the shots being fired, and you can't figure out where it's coming from. First thing you do is crouch and find out if you are the one being shot. And if you're not, congratulations, but you still have to figure out where they're coming from and who's shooting at what. Ah, there we go. There are some Legion folks over there. They may have been attacking a mole rat or some other thing over here. That would kind of be my guess. Let's see, what is this over here? Oh, I think they might have literally just shot this guy down. They just wrecked this prospector. That feels bad, man. I mean, look at that. We'll pillage his body. Don't worry about that, but that still feels kind of bad to stumble upon a murder scene so fresh like that. What's interesting, all the Legion dudes were carrying, looked like revolvers. 357 Magnum, I don't know, 357 something, 357 Special, because it'd be 44 Magnum, I don't know, whatever. We've arrived at Ranger Station Charlie. You can see this is an NCR outpost for sure. So far, it seems pretty quiet. Let's see if there's anything going on around here. I mean, if things are suddenly quiet, then that really probably is a bad omen, would be my guess. But whatever, we'll start first by just kind of seeing if there's anything we want or need. Not really seeing anything of interest so far. I don't know, I mean, maybe at some point all the sensor modules and other things would be a good idea to have, but for the time being, I'm not really worrying too much about them. I think it's fine to just kind of ignore. Let's get up here to the kind of the highest elevation of this place just to see what's going on. Lots of bricks and things to hold stuff down or to keep things from moving. Just thinking maybe there could be some ammunition or something up here. Got a pack of cigarettes. There's some ammunition. See, I thought there might be some up here. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot else though, so that's fine. Let's go over to the building and let's see what's going on. I think we'll go check out these other trailers first before we go in there. This is looking pretty much like the other one. Vision battery, all sorts of other things. Hey, there's some 9mm rounds. Police baton. Maybe we should take one of those just to, beat down some, I don't know, various wasteland creatures. You're like, stop! This is the police! Etc., etc. Can't remember what RoboCop says. There are some things that RoboCop says, and I just can't remember what those things are. Doesn't look like we can get into that trailer or this one. Therefore, we shall actually go inside now, and if we're going to go inside, I would rather have a weapon that can spray and pray, just in case. It's quiet in here so far. That's maybe good. It's a body right here. NCR dog tag. I mean, we could... Oh, there's a landmine under that guy. Do you see that? Oh, that is devious. Here, let's disarm that before I do something dumb. Oh, there's a tape right here. Ranger Station Charlie audio log 1 and audio log 2. So we're going to have a couple things to listen to. My senses are heightened. I'm trying to make sure that we are not going to step on any landmines now, so that's my first order of business. Let's go to our miscellaneous and see, where are those? Nope, data. Miscellaneous.
Drove the raiders off. No casualties. In the meantime, patrol's back. They're late. I hope they got a good excuse. What took...
Interesting how it starts and ends suddenly.
This is a message to the NCR from the Legion. We are coming for you. Run, and we will catch you. Hide, and we will find you. No matter what you do, you are all going to die. We took one of the women alive.
Okay, well, now we know who did this. This was the work of the Legion. I mean, I suppose. Maybe it isn't, but it sure feels pretty safe to say that it's Legion. Oh man, I kind of... Dang it, I knew there was going to be one right there too, because they're very clever in that they leave the landmines right under the bodies so you can't see them. Like, it's just straight up devious. I knew there were more in here, and I had just said my senses are heightened. And then I had to go and do that, didn't I? Can we disarm this trapwire? Trapwire, tripwire. Disarm this trip wire. Okay. The Legion message did say that they took one of the women. We don't know to what end, for what purpose, etc. Yeah, C357 Magnum. That's what I thought. That guy's got Ranger Patrol armor. I want to take that because I think that Ranger armor might be good, although I do have slight concerns about appearing as an NCR Ranger somewhere. That could be bad. Let's just take a look at what we got here. Our apparel. So 40, let's see, 25 pounds. It is heavier. And it has the same... Wow. It has the same armor rating, even though it's massively, like, massively damaged. Here you go. You've equipped faction armor. Faction armor disguises you as a member of that faction. Members of that faction now consider you a friend, while enemies of that faction will attack you on sight regardless of your personal faction relation with them. Any reputation changes that occur while wearing faction armor still affect your character. Security personnel such as guards and watchdogs will see through your disguise and alert anyone nearby. So watch out, you are now dressed as a member of the NCR. There you go, I wanted to take a look because it's pretty cool looking armor, right? Like, I don't know, I like it. I think it looks pretty neat. But we'll go ahead and go back to our lightweight armor. So we are no longer dressed, blah, blah, blah. And we'll take the Ranger hat just because the Ranger hat we can wear without any problem. And it does give us one additional personality, which is kind of nice. And then we did get a 357 Magnum, which I think we sold one of those off earlier, right? I mean, whatever. I don't feel a burning need to use one of those. Pretty sure we have a messed up leg right now, but if it'll let me fast travel, then I intend to fast travel so that we can just get back and rest. Okay, so we're probably, yeah, I was going to say we're probably limping here. Limping along. And then we're going to go talk with Ranger Andy. That's his name. I couldn't remember his name. Ranger Andy, I actually want to sleep. That would be good.
Any word on Station Charlie?
I went to the ranger station. Everyone there was wiped out.
What? What happened?
It sounded like Legion. Interesting. So if you have enough speech, you can lie. I think the attackers were dead too, so it's hard to tell. We'll just be honest for right now. Members of Caesar's Legion ambushed them.
Those were good men at that station. Good men. This whole town was sleeping a lot easier because of them. Now, who knows what we're in for? The Legion? Christ. We'd be better off with raiders. Well, thanks for telling me. I know that knowledge didn't come without risk. Here, take this. Courtesy of the Ranger Veterans Fund.
200 bottle caps. So, next question. What's wrong with Boone?
Had his wife taken. I don't think he'll ever be the same as he was. Damn shame. I told the Rangers up at the station to keep an eye out, but there's just too much ground out there for them to cover.
And what about his wife?
Carla was a knockout. Whenever Boone walked around with her, he always had this funny grin on his face like he couldn't believe his luck. I know we couldn't. That wasn't the only reason she stuck out, though. That girl never minced words. If she'd had better food or hospitality, she'd let you hear it. Trouble was, she usually had. I don't think she meant it. She really was a sweet girl. I think she just wanted to remind herself that there's still nicer places in this world than Novak. Who could blame her for that?
Okay.
Look out for yourself.
Well, we are now accepted, even though we were idolized. Oh, no, that's among the NCR. Okay, so the NCR has come to accept us. Oh, I'm doing that whole talk while holding a 9mm submachine gun in his face. That was nice. Here, let's talk to Manny real quick.
What's going on, man?
I don't want to do that. That seems like that's an awful accusatory sort of question. So let's do, who would want to hurt Boone's wife?
Man, everybody. That girl didn't have one friend in this whole town. She didn't want any. She wanted to sit in her room all day and make herself miserable, and she went out of her way to be rude. She upset a lot of people. You wouldn't have liked her either.
I guess we'll ask. Did you have anything to do with Boone's wife's disappearance?
Believe me, when I heard the news, my first thought was, I owe somebody big. I figured Boone would come around after a while. But he hasn't. I'm starting to think that if he doesn't find her, things will never go back to the way they were.
I don't think they're going to go back to the way they were anyway.
Yeah, see ya.
I'm surprised that question didn't go over a little more poorly, because that was a very accusatory thing. You can't sprint with your legs crippled. Yes, I know. How you doing? You weren't here, so... Here, let's do a little snoozy snooze. I think I'm just going to do a good chunk of time. And everyone is back. Manny's like, dude, I need to sleep. Get the crap out of my bed. Sorry, Manny. So let's start talking to people who may have some information, or may not. I mean, I guess you never know. May or may not have information. Let's talk with Daisy real quick.
Fine weather for flying. It's times like these that make me miss it all.
You were a pilot?
Vertibird pilot. 71 missions and only lost one chopper. Rotor malfunction over Klamath. Hard landing, but I walked away.
What are you doing, Novak?
I help folks strip down the more complicated bits of salvage they bring in. Engines mostly. The bits and pieces we take out are usually worth more than the whole thing put together.
Did you fly for the NCR?
4? No, not exactly. It was a long time ago. Things are a lot different these days, and those days are way behind me.
All right.
What's your sit?
I don't remember running into her before, so that's just kind of a fun little piece. Like, she's a former vertibird pilot. If you don't know the vertibirds, well, that's a whole other explanation. We'll find one at some point, and I'll also remember to have the conversation about the Enclave at some point that I promised in a previous video. Cliff.
Welcome back. Can I get you anything?
What can you tell me about Boone's wife?
Can't say we spoke much. Boone did most of the buying for him. She was in the store once, but she didn't stay long. Had a look on her face like she'd smelled something sour. But far as I can remember, the gift shop smelled fine. Well, fine as it always does.
Okay.
Come back soon.
So far, we're really not getting any idea of who, excuse me, sir, of who did what. We don't have many people to talk with left. There's only a few. We'll talk with, here, let's run the ones that are going to be far away, because I think that's going to make it a little easier to just run around once we're done. I mean, unless, well, I don't know, I guess this could work out poorly where this is the person who did it, but whatever.
Who's here? What brings you here?
Oh goodness. Let's start with, I just wanted to meet you.
Oh, well, I'm Alice, and that handsome stranger yonder is my husband, Dusty. Going on 50 years now. I keep waiting for him to leave me for some young thing with platinum blonde hair and hoop earrings, but he still sticks around. Says it's my cooking. I think it's because I know which Brahmin udder you can milk without getting kicked in the noggin.
How long have you lived here?
We set up this ranch years back when Novak was just getting settled. But now, with all the danger on I-15, folks are starting to come through here from all over. Novak might just be the next Nevada boomtown.
What do you think of the people who live here?
Oh, we keep to ourselves for the most part. Try not to pry. I think Jeannie Mae gets bothered that we aren't more sociable. But it's just our way. Ain't that we don't appreciate what she's done, managing this town like she has, but I worry she feels that way anyhow. Not that there ain't others who pry around here. That no-bark was skulking around our yard last week. I thought he was our cow killer. Was about to lash him with our bullwhip till I saw who it was. He's harmless, though. Part of me wishes I could see things like he sees them, all full of mystery.
So, how did No Bark get his name?
I'm not sure who started it. Wasn't a very nice name, but he took to calling himself by it, so we all had to. I don't even remember what his real name is. Anyway, I think it comes from that expression that people say when you're crazy, that not all of your dogs are barking. Poor No Bark.
I don't even think we've seen a No Bark, so what can you tell me about Boone's wife?
Boone. That's that sniper fella. Works in the dinosaur, right? I only met them but once or twice. They seemed real happy together. I really ought to get to know them better. They're probably nice folk.
Boy, I have some bad news for you. Let's go talk to Dusty,
Nice
who's
of you to
been
visit.
frozen in time over here.
Things treating you all right?
What do you do here in Novak?
Oh, I tend to my ranch. That's about it. Alice will tell you, I don't get out a whole lot.
How's business lately?
You must mean what's left of it. Somebody's been attacking our animals at night. We're down to less than half of what we had a few weeks back.
Tell me what you know about the attacks.
Every night around midnight, Alice and I wake up to some crazy hollering and gunshots. You'd think the world was ending all over again. But it's just one animal each night. They don't take it or carve it up or nothing. Just leave it there, all full of holes.
That's pretty brutal. I'll see if I can catch whoever's responsible.
We'd be grateful, especially if you find them before they get my whole stock. But don't go getting yourself killed over it. Alice and I'll find a way to make do. Always have.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll figure it out. But what can you tell me about Boone's wife?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know them two as well as I might. I remember she had an edge about her, like she'd rather be someplace else. This kind of life ain't for everyone, that's for darn sure.
Okay, well, did you get a look at the attacker, by the way?
Beg your pardon, mister, but them two-headed beeves ain't worth getting shot over. Not to mention what would happen if half of what No Bark says is true. Best we can hope is that whoever's doing this will move on or get tired of it. I just hope it happens while we still got animals left. Whoever it is, I don't think they're from around town. Seems like they've taken to shooting from the west side.
There we go. That's a good piece of information from the west. Okay, so let's see if we can find No Bark. I'm going to guess No Bark is the one that's kind of out here. That's kind of beyond the edge of, or not inside the regular lines of town. No Bark, right?
Careful. They got spies all... Who sent you? I ain't talking. They tried to get me to talk before, but I didn't say nothing. And I don't aim to now, by gum.
I didn't mean any harm.
We'll just see about that. You come any closer and I'm liable to stick you with my sticking knife. Old Stick is feeling mighty ornery this day.
We can talk from this distance.
You sure now? It's kind of hard to hear you.
You said you'd stab me with that dirty knife.
Okay, just speak up a little. But not so much that they hear you. They got people everywhere, always listening.
Oh boy, this guy. Why do they call you No Bark?
'Cause they know I ain't just barking here. What I say has got bite, 'cause it's the truth. Them quack doctors can say what they want about all the rat scorpion stings that done pierced my skull. I know what I seen.
Boy. Has anyone been acting strange lately?
I don't trust a man that doesn't have something strange going on about him, 'cause it means he's hiding it from you. If a man's wearing his pants on his head, or if he says his words backwards from time to time, you know it's all laid out there for you. But if he's friendly to strangers and keeps his home spick and span, more more often than not, he's done something even his own ma couldn't forgive.
This guy, man. There's, oof. Is there anything interesting happening in the area?
Folks will tell you that they seen ghouls up near the rocket factory. Sensationalist hooey, cooked up by superstitious yokels, seeing phantoms of their own imagining.
What do you actually think is at the factory?
Ghosts. Commie ghosts who don't know they're dead. Hoping to steal our rockets so they can fly up and paint the moon pink and draw a Lenin face on it. I seen one of them disappear and reappear before my very eyes. Although, being a scientist, I have to admit I might have just blinked for longer than usual, what with the shock of seeing a commie ghost and so forth.
It's kind of a funny way to phrase things, because in a way, ghosts kind of make sense for what was going on there. What's been going on in town?
There's been things of a disturbing nature going on at the McBride Corral. Seems every night one of their herd meets a most unnatural death, and always there's holes all over the body. Work of the chupacabra, the livestock vampire, says Nobark, but they don't pay no mind. Too many holes, they say, and there's bullets in them. Well, says Nobark, we got a chupacabra with an automatic weapon. And that's when they get real quiet, because now they see the predicament we're in.
So what else do you know about the deaths at the corral?
I come face to face with the chupacabra himself one night, whilst I was investigating whether this gecko was hiding his treasure from me. He was the meanest, ugliest chupacabra you could imagine. Had 2 heads and fangs down to the ground. Best I could tell anyways, since when he come up to me, he was invisible. Had himself a blunderbuss, what would rotate and shoot bullets real fast out of a backpack. Never seen nothing like it. Walked right past me having an argument with somebody. But I only saw one chupacabra, so I guess the other fella had to be invisible too. Only more invisible than the other one.
Oh, goodness. What do you know about the abduction of Boone's wife?
Seen it all. Seen shadowy folk come to his room and leave again in the middle of the night. Thought one might have gone in the lobby too for a spell. Could be that person went in to get something. Or used the John, maybe. Mighty interesting either way, you asked me. I thought it was cannibals, come to eat us all for sure. So I kept out of sight. But now I know better.
Who was it?
More rat men. Come up from the underneath to steal young women with promises of riches and fancy mud mansions with all the latest designer appliances. They covered our lady folks' long hair for wigs, it said, being either bald or balding themselves. If anyone asks, we never spoke.
Ooh. All right, no bark, we never spoke indeed. I mean, it's funny, but there's like this undercurrent of truth in all the different things that he said that it's really kind of fun. Did I forget to talk to someone over here? No, they just have all the markers up again. Okay, that's fine. I don't... maybe all the markers are up here. I don't know. We've talked with everyone except for going into the Dino Delight. So let's just do that. And we'll talk with Jeannie Mae.
I hope you're finding everything to your liking.
What can you tell me? Oh, no, let's start off with what's been going on in town lately?
Well, let's see. Dusty McBride's been losing some Brahmin, but that's probably the heat more than anything. Honestly, it's been real quiet. Ranger Andy's still hurt, but we got these 2 gentlemen snipers watching the road day and night, keeping the trash out of Novak. They've been a blessing.
I mean, that sounds good. So, what's wrong with Boone?
Nothing that wouldn't be wrong with any man who loses a wife, I suppose. Poor dear. I know he thinks she was kidnapped, but I'm not so sure she didn't just run off on her own. You could tell she was thinking about it ever since they arrived.
I don't know how she would know that, but, what can you tell me about his wife, then?
How should I put it? I guess you could say she was kinda like a cactus flower. Real pretty to look at, but there was just no getting close to her. She never did take to living here. She liked the big lights and fast living of New Vegas. I got the feeling she was trying to get Boone to leave with her, but I guess she got tired of waiting.
Okay. That's what she says.
Watch out for strangers.
I will do that. I'll watch out for strangers. So, is there anything else of interest that we can find in here? I mean, I think we've already taken the Sunset Sarsaparilla. And I want to try something right quick that totally is not save scumming if it doesn't work. She's not paying attention, and we have a moderate amount of stealth. And I think the way it works in this game, you can unlock things behind someone's back and it'll be fine. Let's go right about there. Bill of sale. Let us take that. And we'll leave the rest because we want to look at that note that we've just added, the bill of sale. We, the representatives of the Consul Officiorum, have this day bargained and purchased from Jeannie Mae Crawford of the Township of Novak the exclusive rights to ownership and sale of the slave Carla Boone for the sum of 1,000 bottle caps, and those of her unborn child for the sum of 500 bottle caps, the receipt whereof is hereby acknowledged. We warrant the slave and her young to be sound, healthy, and slaves for life. We covenant with the said Jeannie Mae Crawford that we have full power to bargain and sell said slave and her offspring. Payment of an additional 500 bottle caps will be due pending successful maturation of the fetus, the claim to which shall be guaranteed by possession of this document. M. Scribonius Libo Drusus et al., administrators of M. Licinius Crassus, consul, officiorum ab famulatus. You dirty, dirty rat, Jeannie Mae.
I hope you're finding...
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
What?
She's not giving us the option to go
I hope you're...
take her outside. Maybe she won't do it while she's here. But we need to take her outside, okay? We gotta take her outside. That's... I mean, this is Fallout, so, you know. Harsh consequences and all, and yes, we will be essentially judge, jury, and executioner. Minus the executioner part. Wow, he has a bunch of dinosaurs in his place. That's hilarious. He got a couple of them riding around on roller skates. That's funny. Cliff, you are an interesting cat. Okay.
I hope you're finding...
Come with me. There's something you should see in front of the dinosaur.
Okay, if that's what you think.
So, yeah, we're actually going to do this. I mean, are you over there yet? Did you come out with me? Where are you? Where did she go? Is she already over here waiting? Okay. Dinosaur. Oh, there she is. So we are going to switch our apparel and put on Boone's beret. And we're just going to wait a second here while she walks up because this is Fallout and apocalyptic justice is harsh. So it's going to be what it's going to be. And she saunters over here and loses her face. Just like that. Thanks, Boone, I think. Or you're welcome, Boone? I don't know. Whatever. It's cool. We're going to go ahead and take her safe key, which we clearly don't need. And we'll worry about talking to Boone in just a second because we need some additional rewards before we do this, right? I mean, Boone probably wants a moment anyway. He just basically shot someone's face off, so, you know, it might be a moment before he's ready to resume talking to people, so we're just going to steal that stuff from her since she clearly doesn't need it anymore. I mean, if she's dead, it's not stealing in my book, so I'm okay with that. I mean, again, this is some harsh justice going on here. I mean, this is vengeance justice. It's Venstis. Boone.
That's it then. How did you know?
I found the bill of sale.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It'd be like them to keep paperwork. Here, This is all I can give. I think our dealings are done here.
What'll you do after this?
I don't know. I won't be staying, I know that. Don't see much point in anything right now, except hunting legionaries. Maybe I'll wander. Like you.
Come with me. Let's go after the Legion. Oh, well, no. Let's say, are you an outlaw now?
No. People die out there. Often enough that no one worries about blame. They're too anxious to forget it happened in the first place, I guess. Besides, I was on break when it happened.
I mean, it didn't seem like you were, but that's fine. Come with me. Let's go after the Legion.
You don't want to do that.
We'll kill more with 2 of us.
Yeah, that might be true. That's reason enough for me to take you up on it, I suppose, but this isn't gonna end well. Fine. Let's get out of here.
So, we now have another level up, and we need to figure out where these points are going to go. So once again, we'll drop some points into random places, and I need to keep working on lockpick and science. Those are just... we've got to get them up a little more here. Let's go 5 points into each. That'll leave just a few remaining. Let's get speech up because speech is good. And then we have ourselves a new thing. We don't need to carry, or we don't need, whatever it was, whatever the strength one was that lets us carry more stuff now. We don't need that anymore. I'm kind of tempted to take rapid reload, honestly. A 25% reload speed buff is pretty good. Bloody mess, that one's good. Ferocious loyalty. The power of your personality inspires die-hard loyalty from your followers. When you drop below 50% health, your companions temporarily gain much greater resistance to damage. It's kind of a fun one. I do like Gunslinger, although VATS is kind of broken, so I don't think we'll use that much. Oh, Shotgun Surge, and your precision with a scattergun is something to behold. Ignore 10 additional points of a target's damage threshold. That's kind of good. Toughness, Commando, like, honestly, all of these are really kind of fun to use. I kind of like this one, Sneering Imperialist. You don't take kindly to raiders, junkies, or tribals trying to settle or stay alive in civilized lands. Against dirty raiders and junkie types, as well as Zion's tribals, you do 15% additional damage and have a bonus to hit in VATS. They're strong back. And then there's the other side, the so-called authorities, finesse. Here and now. Actually, the Misfortune and Mysterious Stranger, those are pretty fun ones. Like, those are kind of fun, but I'm having issues with VATS, so even though I'd really kind of like to play with them a little bit, I think what we'll do now is we'll take Finesse. With the Finesse perk, you have a higher chance to score a critical hit on an opponent in combat, equivalent to 5 extra points of luck. I like the sound of that. All right, so now we have ourselves a boon that can run around with us as a companion. The only thing I'm not sure of is I guess maybe we can have Eddie and Boone at the same time. I couldn't remember. Boone, I think if we give him some different weapons, he'll end up switching to some other stuff. I mean,
fine by me.
I guess we can't see what his weapon is, but that's fine. Not a big deal. For right now, we will carry on with now having 2 companions, which is pretty cool. I mean, there are still more to be found out in the world, and then I don't even know where we are with different quests. I guess we got something we need to do that away. Eddie, etc. I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out on the next one. Until then, thanks for watching. See you later.